It's kind of like the Garden of Eden described in the Bible. So it actually had like a tree of knowledge of good and evil, like a tree that showed that he might alive to God. And so he had that place up in the garden. Well, she stole most of that fruit and gave it to Sodom.
Take only one book
Yeah,
or
so
your
he,
Kindle.
yeah, because she had fallen in
Going
love
from
with
Tui to
him.
Amarillo, I took 5 books. Read them all before we got there.
Well, anyways,
So I was like, why? I get bored.
so
Why?
anyways, he
Like,
punished
take
her
one.
by banishing her to this personal
Read
island,
all.
and she basically was forced to stay there for the rest of for like infinity, basically. And she was cursed so that every time it's like once every 100 years roughly, a man would come to that island, stay with her for a little while. She would fall in love with the man, but because the man is a hero and he's on a very important mission or some other reason, he's supposed to just every once every 100 years. Yeah, different language. He would stay with her just as long as the island. She would probably something wrong, but then he would always have. I usually did. I don't understand why.
All right, we need to get started. So we have 2 brown bags today. 2 brown bags. So if you have a computer or whatever, you need to turn that off. So okay, what is one of our big mottos around here? Be flexible. Yeah, good. If you're going to be a missionary and do well and not get frustrated all the time, you got to be flexible. If you get bent out of shape because something doesn't go your way, you're going to have a real hard time. And so we had planned on having the Alaska presentation at noon today, but they called us a little while ago and they were still in Denver. And so we're going to have to scoot that until the end of class today. So they'll still be here, but it won't be until about 4 for that presentation. And if Pat starts his class at 1, then maybe we can have that presentation at 3 or 3:30 or something like that. So you're not here too late. So I know Corey mentioned this morning, but you realize that you have a presentation today and tomorrow and 2 on Friday, and then your last one is next Monday, and then they're done. And then we're going to give you a few days to talk to each other, to think about things, to pray about it. If you need to remember stuff, look over your notes. If you need to write those missionaries or aimers in those places because you weren't sure about, well, tell me more about this or more about that. We're going to give you, I'd be doing that now, but you're going to have a few days. And then, so I think Friday in a week, Friday afternoon, we're going to have the time when you fill out your lists. Okay. And that'll be the places you want to go. What are your top few places that you really want to go in the order of preference? Are there any places where you're just like, I just do not want to go there. I just cannot see myself there. And then same with your classmates. These are a few of the top girls I would really like to work with. Here's some of the top guys I'd really like to work with. And if there's anybody you're just like, I just cannot work with that person, there'll be a place to put that too. So that's all coming. That's one of those, in your whole 2 years of AIM, there are several key moments. They're kind of big deals. And this is one of them. When you finally fill out that list and turn it in, that's one of them. And then in December when we announce teams, that's another one. So all that's right around the corner for you guys. So Okay, here is a written brown bag, and then we have one that's a video. They both come from Fort Collins, Colorado. I think their presentation is the last one. I think it's Monday. Here's what this comes. It says brown bag from Becca and Anicia. Here's what they say. Hey y'all. We hope everything's going well and you're learning so much. This is our first time writing to you guys, so oops. We just want to say some things about fields and team selection as that is all coming up pretty soon. So when you're looking at field, don't choose it because it's pretty, easy, or cheap. I agree with all of those. Pick a field that's going to challenge you because God will provide. When picking your field, choose the team, not the place. If you like those people, you can be sent anywhere and it'll work out. Make sure that you know your whole class. For us, this is a little of their story. For us, we changed coordinators and then fields and then team members before they finally ended up in Colorado. As a team, we didn't really know each other. We were all acquaintances, but not friends. And that's where it really hurt us on the field. We had to learn about each other before we could really get to know anybody here in Fort Collins. So basically, pick your team and not the field or the coordinator because those could change. Yes, teams change, and that's normal, but it's easier than fields changing. And okay, we'll stop preaching as we're sure you've already heard this a couple of times. So now an update from us on the field. We've been busy with the clothing bank and getting a program started to take clothes to the homeless shelters and passing out winter coats to the homeless or kits we see walking around here. In these bags, we have coats, long sleeves, sweats, socks, and gloves. There are other items in there that they can use to keep warm as winter is coming. I, Anicia, have been planning a trunk or treat for community outreach. This is why I'll not be coming to the field presentation. We've been doing a Bible study with the college girls, helping with mops, and we are planning a girls' night out too. We are involved with a lot of the amazing members from the church and have built lifelong relationships with them. We go to Raiding the Richters for dinner and Devo with the college group. There's also life groups on Sunday nights, which has the most attendance of the college kids. We teach Sunday school classes to children. We go to coffee, we play sports, and sometimes go to the Colorado State football games. There are plenty of things to do here, and it's easy to start your ministry. I, Becca, am also excited to meet every one of you and get to know your class. I, Anicia, am sad that I'm missing the field presentation and getting to meet everyone. Aiming in Fort Collins, Anicia, and Becca. Shout outs to Macy. We're so glad you came to AIM and we got to know you during Camp Adventure. You're going to do great things. Keep that positive attitude. To Izzy, we miss you so much and are so happy to see you back. Hope you're doing well. You will have to tell me about this new class when I come. That's from Becca. To Jordan, so glad I got to know you and can't wait to see you. You're a hero, from Becca. Taylor, hey, you are amazing. We're glad we got to have you during Camp Adventure and to see how sweet you are. We're excited to see the great things you're going to be doing on your field. We love you. To Gabo, says Gabo, you're awesome. We are so happy that we met you and got to watch that scary movie before you left us. Becca says, I can't wait to see you. Anicia says, I miss you and hope to see you soon. I'm excited to hear about what you're doing in Lubbock. So text me so you can catch me up on what's going on in your life. You're the best. For the assistants, Chipley, you're the worst. But we love you. Megan, thank you so much for being in our small groups and teaching us how to lead them. We're using those skills in our Bible studies. We just miss you so much. Forrest, hey dude, you're cool. Miss you. And Dakota is from Anicia. I miss your smile and all the random compliments you gave me. We need to catch up sometime. To Ben and Lauren, we miss you so much. We're excited about baby Clay. We need to FaceTime pronto. Love y'all, Robbie and Carla. We appreciate everything you did for us in Lubbock and everything you taught us. We love you. FaceTime us. Miss you lots. Barb, we miss your precious face. Thank you for keeping AIM together. We might be a little bitter about not getting pizza puffs, but we still adore you. That's from Anicia. And then this is Christian. He is from Mexico in Fort Collins. Here's his next video lineup. So,
Hey guys, what's up? It's Goldie.
Okay, actually, a new one just came in. It's another brown bag. All right, here we go.
Good job. Hello guys, it's me again. I want to say thank you for the letters, for the notes. Really made me happy. Also, I mean, talk to all of you, or some of you, everybody, because I don't know everybody. Yeah, so to speak, because I don't have so this is a good idea. So, also, I want to make some shout out to Jana there. I want to say that I like the questions you make. Right now, I don't have the answer to that. Roman, Fu, PC, Tyler, that guy that I think is Carlos, Daniel, Taylor. I think if I know you, I'm just going to say hi. Rory, Fu, Hannah, also Sarah, you, and Holly, Ray. You guys also know. So if you guys have any kind of questions about the field or some of you want to make like Skype and other more for this way, just let me know. I can do it. Don't make sense. Bye guys. Take care.
Okay. You never really know what to expect from Harley, which is one of the things I really appreciate. We just had one more come in. So this is from Fuzzy. Okay. So let's hear what Fuzzy has to say. So he says, so I know I haven't written a brown bag in like forever, and I'm sorry about that, but I just want to say hi to you guys and see how you're all doing. So please write me back. Things here in Yep. Things here have been well here in Northern Iron. We just got back from the youth weekend in Lauren. Lauren, okay. And it was such a blast. We had all the good crack. And that means fun. Yeah. I'm sure some of you have been. I'm sure some of you have seen the posts about Facebook on Facebook about the theme here was life after death. We talked about hell and how do you perceive it to be, and basically we agreed that it's not something we can accurately perceive because none of us have ever seen it before. We only have the imagery and what we're given in Scripture. Now, the reverse is true as well. We honest have no clue what heaven really looks like either because none of us have been there before. This was refreshing to me because oftentimes it seems that we get caught up in painting an accurate picture of heaven and hell that we forget to approach the subject humbly and say, as Bert would say, our coordinator, I haven't the foggiest idea. Learning that this life really is a puzzle and that when you empty the box to put them all together in the right place, you realize that some of the pieces are missing. And man, that was mind-blowing because we won't have all the answers. But the interesting thing is, if you still try to put the puzzle together, you'll find that it shows enough of the picture that you can believe. Another thing that we learned goes back to the context of marriage in Jesus' time. So if you have time, go read John 14, 1 through 6. It's super awesome. I had been taught this before, but I guess it never clicked until this last weekend. You see, it was a custom in that day when two would get married that the bridegroom would leave the bride and go build a home for them as an addition to his father's house. Once it had been completed, then the bridegroom would go again to get his bride, and they would go live together in the new house. Jesus tells his disciples, I'm coming back to bring you to your new home, but he also indicates to them the type of relationship that he has with them, that they would be the bride of Christ. That's pretty cool stuff, huh? We have had another youth weekend in February, but this time it won't be in Northern Ireland. It will be in Scotland, which means I'll be going to Scotland for my birthday. Speaking of birthdays, it's shout-out times. Shout-outs? I think I'm the only one doing one this week, but I need everyone's help. You all get to be involved. Crystal Leather. It's just what he writes. Crystal Leather, please stand up. He says, I need for you to stand up in a chair now, please. And I want everyone just to start clapping your hands and congratulate her on making it to her 19th birthday. Thank you. He says, thank you, Crystal, for being such a good friend. I hope that you soak in all that you can from your time there in Lubbock and that you grow closer to God every day. Happy 19th birthday. I hope it is filled with love and joy from your brothers and sisters. Keep pressing on towards the goal. Fuzzy. So, very cool. All righty. Judith, this is yours, okay? All right. Chris, did you want to? Okay. For the next few minutes, please keep the thank yous going around. I think Barb said that we still need to sign some of those from the churches that you guys had visited in Phoenix, and there may be some from last week's Brownbags as well. All right, back on the back table, ladies, you're welcome to look through those as well. But some ladies brought those last week. They've been back there for a while now. What I'd like to ask is right after Brownbag, if I can get a couple willing gentlemen to take those upstairs to the second floor where the SIBI break room is and kind of put those up there in a way that they can look through those. And there's 2 sheets that say free and kind of put those on top of the clothes. And we'll leave those up there for a couple days and let those guys go through them. So there's some nice clothes back there, fellas. I think most of the shirts are XX. So anyway, can I get some volunteers to, after we finish Brownbag, take those up? Okay, awesome. And kind of make them look halfway decent up there. You know what I'm saying? Just don't everywhere. Very cool. And today is Wednesday, and I believe they do have class down here tonight. So who's on the Amherst? Okay. So if you guys take care of that today as well. Robbie, any other reminders we're thinking about before I go over some of this stuff? Okay. Very cool. What I'd like to do is to in the spirit, a little bit of what Corey was talking about this morning. You guys in the first term worked really hard, and then on the Phoenix trip as well. And then, we had a couple days in the mountains. And one of the things that Corey mentioned this morning that you guys did was to take some time and kind of do a recommitment to yourself. And we still have those. We'll be giving those back to you a little bit later on. But in the spirit of that, what we want to do is kind of remind you of what you agreed to before you came here, but certainly once you got here. And so I'm not going to read all those rules from start to finish. I'm going to hit some high points and just kind of remind us of some of the commitments that we made, because I think that it's somewhat our tendency to kind of maybe sometimes conveniently forget, or hey, I didn't know that, those kind of things. And again, we want to be men and women of integrity. And so we want to keep our word. If we said we're going to do something or not, then we want that to be our word. And so, again, in that spirit, I want to remind you of some of these things, and I really want you to listen. We've talked about in the second term that we're dialing things up. We're turning things up. We're expecting more of you. And honestly, we're watching a little more intently. You're walking into chapel late. You're having trouble keeping curfew. You're turning assignments in late or not at all. Those kind of things we are really, really noticing. What and how you do things at area church, if you're participating, if you're serving, if all those kind of things, we look at all that stuff. And honest, we take those things into consideration when we are forming teams. And so all that stuff's real important. So let me go over some of these things. Again, it is a little bit of repeat and repeat stuff, but I do want you to listen and then respond accordingly with all of these rules and things. So just some highlights, okay? Just a reminder about our dress code here at school. To be 100% honest, I wish we didn't have one. I would be wearing shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt and maybe a cap every day. But until I am president of the school, that's probably not going to happen. But I too have to submit myself to those rules. And I do that most of the time, not so grudgingly, because I get to hang out with you guys. And so we have to keep those guidelines in terms of dress code. And so we certainly expect you guys to do that too. So just for the fellas, just some reminders here. They mentioned this the other day in chapel, but remember the shirt tails that are legal to be out and the ones that are not. I know that sounds legalistic, but it's just what they've asked us to do. So we're going to honor that. The kind of shirt Dakota has on there for you fellas, that's a polo that has a square tapered. Okay, thank you. So that is legal. However, if Jackson, you don't have to do this, Jackson, but if Jackson were to untuck his shirt, since the hem is kind of rounded on the bottom, that's not a legal shirt to have untucked, okay? Let's just be faithful in little things like that, okay? Shoes, also, fellas. All right, tennis shoes doesn't work, all right? That kind of thing. So I think you guys know the dress code, so let's just make sure we honor and respect that, okay? Ladies, just a reminder, leggings are permitted as long as they're worn under a dress or skirt that is still at least knee length. A long shirt over leggings will not be acceptable. And also jeggings, do those things exist? Okay, do you know what those are? Okay, I don't think I've ever seen one of those in person before, but so stretchy pants, also yoga pants. This applies for the yoga pants. I do know what those are. There's a great Tim Hawkins song about that, about trying those things on. They are very comfortable, I know, but ladies, you have to have a dress on it. You just can't wear those things, okay? Yeah. Ladies, make sure that you're not wearing string spaghetti tops, tank tops, low-cut tops, those kind of things. Also, you get a little bit more leeway here than we do. You get to wear sandals. Just make sure they're not flip-flops, okay? And again, all this may sound legalistic, but we're just going to be faithful in small things. If you have a question about dress code, come talk to me or Corey or Chris, and we'll help you out. You can talk to Robbie too. He'll help you along. Okay. Very cool. Super quick. You guys know all the stuff about things over at the apartments. You know the no being together alone in an apartment. Good night, Nancy. I mean, how many times do people justify breaking that? And don't be a part of that. And if you see someone who is, you go talk to them. all right, and help hold each other accountable. We don't want to give any opportunity for Satan, either in the area of appearance and or any activity that is just not righteous and good. So guys out of the girls' rooms, girls out of the guys, and so forth and so forth. Okay. I want to remind you guys, your curfew time is at. So you need to be in your assigned apartment. Okay. Really, what this says, if you would like on a Friday night, on a weekend, to stay over at someone else's, that's okay. Just talk to your assistant about that. We think it's important you guys learn how to live where you were assigned, and then work out any kind of differences or conflict. You're gonna have to do it when we send you to the field, so you might as well start learning now. So again, just please honor that. Okay. Also, the electronic curfew is at, which means that the only thing you can use electronically is, let me just read it. Okay. There's an electronic curfew at midnight. At that time, things like the internet, video games, movies, texting, Facebook, phone calls, Skype, FaceTime, and so forth need to be off. Okay. And so, can you do homework? Yes, if it's legitimate homework. Okay. But other than music and or specifically homework, everything electronically else is off. Okay. And so help hold each other accountable to that. Alrighty. If some of you guys are, and I know some of you are, a little bit depleted of funds and you're struggling with support, please don't wait till you get yourself in a place where it's super bad. Okay. Come and talk to me, Chris, or Corey, and at least let us in on how you're doing, and maybe we'll be able to help in that way some as well with you. Okay. Something again to remind us of that if you wake up sick, either you or your roommates, please call the office. If Barb's not there, leave a message and just kind of lets us know where you are, what's going on. That's just really more of a courtesy. And then for time's sake, I'm not going through all this stuff. I'll just say we did several months ago. We just didn't make really a good announcement about it. But some of y'all going out of town, there's these little out of town request forms. And again, to us, this is my thinking. It's not a matter of us controlling you. It's a matter of us being responsible and accountable for you. I know you're adults. We get that. But we also have to answer to your families and supporters. And if someone's gone and we can't find them, we're going to have to backtrack and go talk to, everybody. So this is just kind of a courtesy on your part. And so these are right next to the absentee forms, which make sure you fill those out. If you're absent, go to the doctor, whatever, make sure you fill out those forms. But this one's super simple. Just put your name on it, the date, the reason you want to go out of town. And out of town really means, anything more than 10 minutes out of Lubbock, go ahead and fill one of these out. Okay, that just lets your assistant be aware of where you are. And it's not that they want to control you. It's just that it helps us to be accountable for you. Makes sense? Okay, because we've had people just disappear, literally. And it's like, that's not a cool thing. All right. And so there's a date on here of when you want to go, when you want to come back, the area church you're in, your assistants. And what you need to do is once you fill this out, don't do it the day of. Okay. As best you can, foresee, plan ahead. Take it to your assistant, and then, like for Andrew, you'll take it to Andrew, and you'll just kind of say, "I'm kind of wanting to go, wherever." And so he's not giving you permission or not. What he's doing is giving his recommendation to us, because if you have been absent 3 times that week, and if you're on probation, those kind of things, and he's going to know you probably don't need to be going out of town. Okay. Might be a good thing for you to stay here. So he's going to make a recommendation. He's going to bring this to Chris, Corey, or me. We'll make a decision, let him know, and then he'll relay that back to you. Okay? And that just keeps all of us in the loop. It's just good for communication. Okay? Question? Is that pretty much just overnight things? I think if you want to go 10 to 15 minutes outside of Lubbock, yeah, if you want to go to Clovis, we need to know. Okay? Again, it's just, I think it's a courtesy thing and just keeping people, in the communication loop. Okay. Again, it's to me, it's not about control, but it is about doing all I can do to make sure, since you're in our care, that we're keeping up with. Does that make sense? 9 times out of 4, we're going to say it's okay. But again, there may be sometimes we're like, that may not be the best thing. Okay, so makes sense. Okay, hang in there with me real quick. I want to mention this just as a reminder. This did come up last term, and so I just want to remind you guys. If a student misses any class in order to study for a test or prepare for any work for any assignment, he or she will automatically be penalized with a 0 for that grade, for that assignment or test. So if you miss chapel, if you miss class to work on something to get something else done to turn it in, that assignment will be a 0. Okay, that's going to be a big deal to us. There may be some more implications for that. If a student is caught cheating and or plagiarizing, they'll automatically get a 0 for that assignment and will be subject to dismissal. Okay, that's a big deal, right? We want to be honest. We want to be men and women of integrity. And even in a place like that, that kind of temptation, when we're kind of pushed into a corner, can certainly creep up. And so just, again, be aware of that, okay? All right, something that we didn't necessarily spend a lot of time on in the first term, but the second term, since our expectations, you guys are stepping it up. We're going to do the same for you in this area of academic excellence. And so right over there above where it says Life Bright, there's the yellow, orange, and red boxes. That is our probation structure or format. And this is what I really want you hearing, okay? I'm not going to take the time to go through all the different levels of probation. There's 3 tiers, 3 levels, 3 tiers. But here's what you need to hear, okay? That first term, and honest this term, but it's all about growing and learning. And not just learning the system so you can find the loopholes, but really giving everything you've got and doing things as well as possible, okay? And we know that sometimes you're going to forget, hey, you left it on the table. I've done the same thing, okay? But that needs to be the exception, not the thing that's normal, right? So what we're going to be doing this term is when are schedules due for your area church assistants? Where do they go? When are they to be there? After chapel, before class on Monday morning. If they are not, you will automatically be put on probation, okay, for 1 week. Just going to be that way, okay? You need to learn the value of doing a schedule and doing what's asked of you and doing it well. And doing it with a good attitude, okay? Yes, sir?
Like they're done right. I don't know if they know how to do this.
Then you talk to your area church aimers about that. You do that for me? Yeah. Not that I've heard. So you talk to your folks, and if that doesn't remedy it, come back and we'll take some time in here to do that, okay? If you have a question about your schedule, about how to do it, what they expect, please talk to them, okay? They want you to use those as a tool, not as something to beat you up and just another thing to do, okay? So I appreciate that. Also, the other thing you need to know is that your newsletters, okay? I think that we do a pretty good job of letting you guys know when those are due and giving you a heads up. And so when those are due and expected, if you don't turn one in, again, you're going to be on level 1 probation, okay? If you're already on level 1 probation, probably going to go to level 2, okay? And the assistants on Mondays, when they get together with you for your brown bag, they're going to help you keep up with some of that, okay? The best thing is just not to get on it at all. And probation really is going to be there after school for an hour, a legitimate hour, doing nothing else but schoolwork. No music, no videos, no games, no conversation. It's quiet and you're just working, okay? Level 2 probation is after school plus in the morning. And if you take sign language, you miss it. You're out of it, okay? At least for that week. And then level 3 are those 2 plus a Friday afternoon as well. And also, each one of those is going to merit a visit with me or Corey or Chris, okay? And we're going to kind of go, hey, help me understand what's going on here, okay? And so, anyway, if you have questions about probation, come see me or look over there on the board, and that will be Hopefully that'll be pretty clear. So again, we bring all this up in the spirit, I think, of that recommitment that what you guys did up at Ponderosa. And I think that we would say that overall, man, we're really pleased with what you guys did in the first term. Okay. But what we'd say is don't be content with that. You learn from the things that you didn't do well or that you would like to do differently. Okay. And you step into those this next term, and you help each other, you push each other, you challenge one another, you hold each other accountable. Okay. In these areas. All right. Robbie, anything else before I turn us loose? Base camp? Yeah, appreciate that. Newsletters are due Monday. Okay.